Hi everybody, welcome back. We are recording episode number 63, I think. It's silly, I think it's 63. So we are recording episode number 63 today. We have had a small short break. We've come back, we're going to do this. We are actually going to be recording again next week as well, just to do a little bit of work around holidays to make sure that we can actually take them and not completely mess up schedules and things like that. So this is sort of like the thing. I'm going to be very brief. We're obviously doing Abomination Vaults. It is obviously Pathfinder 2nd edition. And it's going to be using all the stuff on Foundry and so on and so forth. And yes, I do realise that there is a new version of Pathfinder 2nd edition coming out towards the end of the year. No, I don't know what it's going to do to how we run this game. I'm sure it will be fun and games working that out. But yes, I'm actually going to throw it over to JJ. JJ has a small thing that he wishes to point people in the direction of. So off to you, sir.
So I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Aaron, who is recently started up a small business and is actually selling dice through his website through luxgames.co.uk. This is not sponsored content. I've actually bought these myself. I bought two of the core set, red and blue, because they're incredibly pretty, and they are non-denominational, so I can actually take them to LARPs as well and use them there. And they've got a massive variety of reasonable budget, excessively pretty, and otherwise dice, as well as bags. So, yeah, big shout out or a small shout out, great shout out to Lux Games and Aaron. Hopefully, we'll put the link in the doobly-doo. Across to them.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're not sponsored. We'd love to be sponsored, but we aren't sponsored. Yeah, that's a shout out to a friend's company, and some good dice anyway. So it's always a positive thing. Okay, just a small little bit of a heads up that I'm going to do with the players, and then we'll get on with things. Okay, all of that bookkeeping aside, let's get ourselves onto the game because we were in the middle of a fight. We have gone back down to the Abomination Vaults onto the 4th floor, Belcora's lair, domicile, not entirely sure what you'd call it, retreat, and they just gone into the bottom half of the map down to the sort of south east of the map to have a look at where Neffy's crossbow had dropped and also into the little tunnel that's down here. In the process of poking their heads around here, they found a couple of wisp creatures, but at the end of the turn, all of a sudden from out of the shadows appears a ghostly figure of Otari himself. He almost said, well, hello, but I decided against that.
Hello there.
Well, hello there.
General Kenobi.
So yes, he's sort of dashed in. So what we'll do is we will just put a little bit of the combat music back on, at least for the players, and we'll swing the scene over to the game, and there we go. Okay. See, can I see music? I can see music moving and everything. It's awesome. Right, okay. So we had just done Moz's turn. I will put Otari into the combat order where he should be appearing because he should be down here. Actually, that's a bit loud. Let me just pull that down. That's a bit better. That's a bit better for me anyway. That back then. Okay, so as I say, I was just going to put him into the combat tracker. He was also on 19, so he goes up there. So he darts across from where he was, and then what happens is he fades away, and you stop being able to see where he is. But it's not like a ghost going invisible. It's almost like he became shadow for a second. And as you're watching what's going on, Neffy's body is casting shadows against the wall for the light behind, and all of a sudden one of Neffy's shadows looks like Otari. And he reaches out with a dagger and strikes towards the flicker-wisp that's behind you. He's doing something called Infested Shadow. He basically becomes the shadow of another creature. And then he can make an attack against a single target within reach of that creature. On a successful strike, the target becomes flat-footed until Atari's next turn. So he's going to make that attack. So he's almost certainly going to hit, I think. Yeah, pretty much. Anything but a natural 1, Otari. Anything but a natural 1. That's a 10. That'll do. So he does quite a bit of damage. 3d6 plus 6 negative damage. Doing 12, 17, 20 points of damage to the flicker-wisp. The flicker-wisp immediately disappears in a puff of logic. So that is his turn, and that is that dead, and it is Phelan's turn.
Okay. I don't see a whole lot of other targets.
No.
So we're going to 1, 2, 3. Up here. We're all fairly chunked.
Just while Dave is working out what Phelan's going to do, I have just realised something. A comment that I had from a friend of ours, that he could hear Atari music playing at the same time as the combat music. I've just realised what that is. There's actually an additional sound effect in the room below. So every time I pick a token that's in that room, the additional sound effect is playing. That's why you can hear additional music. It's actually not me making a mistake. It's an area ambience in the room. There you go. I feel better now.
So we're going to get Olerin to move up, and I'm going to raise shield. Because there's nothing for me to recall knowledge on. There's nothing for me to try and incinerate.
Nope.
There's nothing for me to try and heal.
That's entirely fair. Okay, based on that, this flicker-wisp. So the second flicker-wisp that's in the room has a slight problem in the fact that there is somebody in the way. Neffy, what is your reflex DC? So effectively 10 plus your reflex saving throw, please.
Hold fire, because just have the character sheet open. My reflex DC 10 plus my reflex modifier, did you say?
10 plus your reflex modifier,
yeah. What's my reflex modifier? Where should I be finding that?
Your reflex save.
So my reflex save at the moment is plus 13, so it's plus 4 for my deck?
No, so you, let me just have a quick look. Your reflex save at the moment is plus 13. So 10 plus 13, 23 is your reflex DC.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's not a problem. The wisp is going to try. So he's going to move up to here. And then he's going to try and go past Neffy to where the previous flicker-wisp just died. It's got a reflex of 8, so I need to roll a 15 or higher in order to be able to do this. Otherwise, I just can't go anywhere. That's a 12. So for one action, that's a complete failure. Instead... can't really do anything else. He's just going to wait his turn out. Neffy, you are aware, and the flicker-wisp has kind of given it away at this point. The flicker-wisp has not been able to move closer to you. you realise that the only reason that could be possible is if there is something in the way other than you. Because it's stopped 5 foot away from you. Why would it move? Why wouldn't it move closer unless there was something in its way? So if you remember, I know it was a while ago, there was a will-o-wisp right in front of you.
There was, yes.
That went
that was it. It
invisible.
went invisible.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. So you could, knowing that it's there, you could do something called a seek action. So at the moment you've got a 50-50 miss chance. You could do a seek action, which would then turn it into a 20% miss chance. If you succeeded.
Mm-hmm. Was I shooting last time or was I stabbing? That's what I'm trying to remember.
You were stabbing last time, I believe.
Okay. That's fine.
Actually, no. No, you moved up and shot. Then something went past you. Then the will-o-wisp went in front of you. So you've got your crossbow.
Okay, so I was shooting.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to check. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to seek to see if I can
Okie
see it,
dokie.
find it, and
yep.
also drop and draw.
Okay, so that is a perception check, please.
Yep. That is a 27.
27 is a success. You are aware, most definitely, that there is a will-o-wisp still right in front of you. You kind of can't see it, but you've got a rough idea where to go for it. So you drop your crossbow, draw your sword. That's obviously your second action.
Yep.
Third action.
Last action. Nat 20.
Yeah.
I like these new dice.
Now, was that a nat 20 to do the flat check or a nat 20 to attack? Because you've still got to do the flat check.
No! No!
Normally you do the flat check first. Normally.
Maybe if it DM's really nice, they'll give you a hero point for getting it.
Yes, if you hit again, I'll still give you a hit. I'll give you a hero point for your nat 20.
That would be a 28 to hit.
That does hit, so have an extra hero point for your nat 20.
Yay!
For your nat 20 flat check. I am very tempted actually to make nat 20 flat checks a hero point by default because it is a suck if you get it. If you don't. So that is a hit. Roll your damage.
That is a 2d6.
2d6 plus something.
Plus 1 for me. Maths, 5, 6, 7. 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. 8 points of damage. Oh god, that's why that's allowed. Which one is it? There we go. That's a bit better. He says, and then can't figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, it's just a bit loud. I'm sorry, guys. I'll bring the noise down, actually. There we go. Right. Okay. Some very loud combat music, which I'm not quite sure I can filter very well on here. I hope that hasn't been too loud for everybody. I have brought it down. Hopefully that will help. Right. How much damage did you say? How much damage was it?
8.
8. There is a shattering kind of sound in front of you, and then this little orb sort of flits down to the floor. It does not seem to be moving, appears to be dead. That is all of your actions. It is Inva's turn.
Microphone.
There we go. So that's the only thing that's left, right?
It does appear to be, yeah.
So, Do I need to spend an action to recall knowledge, or does the character remember stuff even if this one doesn't?
You would still have to, if you wanted to get additional information, you would have to still use the action. What you do know is it's a flicker wisp, and they don't feed off of fear like the will-o-wisp do. They feed off of confusion, and the one thing that they can do is effectively attempt to confuse people, and that can cause a lot of problems. Did not hear JJ there. No, can't hear him. Can't hear you. We're having fun technology problems, guys. Fun technology problems. Oh, I will pause. Okay, we're back again. Tech problems.
Okay,
aside.
I'm going to glare at it, try and
Yeah.
demoralise it.
Okay, that I mean that technically works. So that would be a intimidate check against my will DC, I believe.
I believe so. And this character has plus 13
Yipes.
with a cocked dice, so let's try that again. Jesus Christ, that's still cocked. 20 overall.
20 is a success. This is a very well. It is a significantly frightened flicker wisp. Is there anything
And
else?
I'm going to put shield back up, and that's about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So,
Well,
yeah.
We'll let the heavies deal with this. Moz.
Speaking thereof, let's have a look. See, I technically can't reach, so I'm going to have to bash my way through this.
Wait, you can always walk past
yeah.
Neffy. It's
Yes,
I'm squishy.
I will. Ooh, that's a point. Will I have to actually use a more movement than normal because there's a kind of squeeze area?
No, it's not a squeeze. It's still a 5-foot gap, so you're fine getting through it.
In that case, then I will. I shouldn't need to step specifically. So Mosron will excuse me coming through. It just don't mind me. And pass through the narrow gap past Neffy, stomping on the last bits of dust of the wisp, and go no, and smack down with his halberd at the flicker wisp.
That's fair enough. Okay.
I will use. I presume I don't need to see this. Roll to see this one. It's
No, this one is currently glowing and therefore is targetable.
awesome. Try the new dice. That's 12, but I have right numbers. 12 plus 14 for 26.
That's a hit. That is definitely a hit.
2d10. Doing good. That's there. Plus 8 for 14.
14 points damage.
Yep.
It is somehow still alive. What left of its light there still is almost like a tiny golf ball.
And in that case, then he will take a moment and control himself, knowing that he's gotten overexcited before. And he'll take an exacting strike across. That was a bit of a swoop.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nat 20 plus 11, 31.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. Not a hero point though, because that was on the actual attack.
That's fair. That is very fair. 6 on the dice again for another 14, making it 28 points of damage.
It had 4 hit points left. So we'll count that one as dead, I think.
Obliterated.
Yeah. Okay, so the room itself will then go silent. Whether or not the music will is another matter. Come here, you. Let's turn you off. Turn my global controls. There you go. You can hear the actual background music of this area of the room now. As you guys will move in, you'll be able to hear it anyway. So, this weird distortion that Neffy's got on her shadow will dissipate, and you will see that green light kind of pull back into the east of this area. If I just, before anybody does anything, let me just get people, remove that one from there, end that encounter, yes, auto assign some experience. There we go. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, you can move as you so desire.
I'll get into the room until, of course, Nettie has been there already. Mike.
That. Can we see that?
Oh yes, you can see him now sat on stone over what appears to be a skeletal body on the floor. The skeleton appears to be sort of holding its side for what it can do. In its state, you can sort of work out that's where the hands were placed. And Otari is kind of just sat there looking down at this body, playing ghostly music on what appears to be some sort of harp.
It has to be said that doesn't look particularly comfortable, Squire.
You could say that. Absolutely. So, something must be going on.
A little bit of everything and several bits in between as well. Seems like, well, as a bit of a guess and looking at where you're at, you're Otari, right?
Yeah.
Bit of good news, bit of bad news.
So, before you carry on, Ghost of Otari appears to be pretty much in an odd state of... He looks permanently ill. I know how that feels, having the hay fever at the moment, but you can tell looking at him, the ghost itself almost seems to be afflicted with the latter stages of filth fever. Almost like his ghost is caught in whatever state he was in when he died. And it's kind of obvious with a sort of... He's got a slight green tinge, transparent shade to him. And there is obviously marks of a fight, and where the skeleton appears to be sort of holding might well be a wound. Looking at the ghost, you can see marks on the clothing, and the skin doesn't look too good under there. Yes. So, what actually has brought you down here?
Well, as I say, a bit of good news, a bit of bad news, really. Good news, you did a lot to take out a ladyship and a ladyship's tower. Other good news, you got a town named after you, so bonus points there. Bad news, whatever's going on is going on again.
Yeah, They named the town after me. Wow. I mean, what can I say really about that? That's something else, really, isn't it? This is just amazing.
Well, you know, it's a difference of a thing. I mean, you've been down here a while, so you know, thought you might appreciate some local changes of geography.
It's very difficult to understand how long I've been down here. Everything is darkness. It feels like a long time.
Balin, you've been local more than I have. How long has he been? How long was it since Roseguard?
It's been. I don't know. Long time?
If you want, you can roll a society check to see if you know.
Society. Okay.
A society check, yes. We have that one that you're really high up on. We also appear to have a special guest.
I think the special guest is better at society. 12.
No, you're not sure. You know it's been a while.
Neffy, you're better at this.
I can do the thing.
You can.
Let me check my. Where is it? Proficiency, society. 28.
Okay, that's substantially better. So the Rose Guard themselves, you're talking a good couple of 100 years ago at least. At the very least. There is an exact number. I have not gone and looked for it just yet, but it's quite a while. Let's see that. Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers right in front of me, I'm afraid. But yes, a good couple of 100 years. I have a feeling we might have lost a Neffy unless Becky's not moving. No, oh there you are, okay.
I was just very, very still.
You were! Excruciatingly so. Yes.
Be careful, the DM's vision is based on movement.
Mm.
Oh, it's definitely been a while. Definitely been a piece. Couldn't tell you. I think it's definitely older than me and my mum.
Look, it's kind you're trying to work out exactly what happened. I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I can go look. It doesn't really matter. But thank you for telling me. I do appreciate these things. And I mean, let's be fair. I haven't really had many people to talk to. So, but I couldn't leave.
A little bit, are you a little bit tied to the bones, as it were?
There are reasons for me to still be here. At least I think there are.
Can I do anything useful with undead lore at this point?
You by all means can make a roll.
That would be 14, so probably not.
No, nothing overly. The one thing you do know is anything like this, a spirit, certainly an intelligent spirit that's trapped here, there's probably a reason for it. It's it might be partly his choice, but it might also be something else. There may be something else that anchors him here. There's a reasonable chance, of course, with something like Otari, that one of the main reasons why he might still be here is simply he feels that he has a duty to be here. For whatever reason.
I ask him about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I came down here, if I remember rightly. See, the problem is, memories leave you after a while. You start forgetting the things that happened before. There were things that I didn't. I mean, I remember a lot. No, it comes and goes. I'm sorry. I was worried that there's a tower upstairs.
Yep.
And I was very worried that it could be used, even if Belcora was gone. But I remember Belcora. I remember a lot about Belcora. During the fight, I got knocked down underneath the floor. There was an explosion, and then I remember running, and a large creature outside this cavern trapping me in here in a way which, quite honestly, I wasn't in the condition to fight past it to get away. So this is where I lay, and then I passed away.
Some of the good news, some good news at least, is we've taken out some bigger critters on the way down. There was something big and horrible and dead, part of the base of the tower, but you're kind of right and you kind of missed the mark. The tower hasn't been used. The tower hasn't been used for centuries. I don't think. Maybe even that long. But the problem is, part of the reason why we're here is it is being used now.
Well, there's a reason for that. You see, here's what we've learned about her before we came here. She was using this tower against Absalom. She hates Absalom. Utterly. Despises the place. We never actually really worked out what it does. We just knew it was bad. And there was something significant about undead with Belcora always. All the stuff that we found on the various floors. I mean, I assume you've been on the upper floors, not the basement floors. Like the Gauntlights got. I mean, well, I mean, it did have quite a few floors. Anyway, we found a lot of stuff. None of the Rose Guard knew about these basement levels. I only found out about those after being knocked down here. We only did the upper floors. And this place is strange. It's there's something going on because the whole place has a power to bring ghosts back and spirits. It's almost like it was designed just for Belcora, just in case, in order to make it easier for her to come back.
Well, we at least managed to get one of the locals unplugged from part of it. We think that's part of the stuff that she might have been using for attacking Absalom in your time, maybe. But we haven't gone any deeper. There's a big blue, horrible magic thing coming over a bunch of stairs.
I know. Belcora is back. I'm going to assume you've kind of figured that out because of all the stuff you must have been doing before now. But she's back in a spiritual sense, not a physical being. She put that barrier up herself pretty quickly after the fight between the Rose Guard and herself. I'm fairly certain from what I can... it's almost like, as I said, this entire place is almost built to bring ghosts back. And I can feel that barrier is made of the souls of her defeated enemies. Somehow. But I also know how to get rid of it.
Well, that'll definitely be useful.
So, the thing is, she focused this entire barrier on the idea of people that she could beat. But she didn't beat the Rose Guard. She lost to the Rose Guard. And so there are things that hold the residual energy of the Rose Guard. There must be relics of our time. And I think that if we put those into that barrier or against that barrier, it will resonate against the barrier and pull it down. And the reason why I know this, and he points over to a corner of the sort of where his body is, just to the side. See, I kind of know that because some of my tools and implements started doing weird things when she put that barrier up. They've started to kind of give off an energy that they didn't give off before, and it feels opposite to what's going on down there. So, look. I know I said I knew how to get that barrier down, and let's face it, I kind of was a little bit of a character when I was alive. But you have to trust me on this one. I think I'm right.
Why do you want to bring the barrier down if it keeps the dead where they're supposed to be?
Because Belcora can pass through that whenever she wants. It's her barrier. And
so you bring it down, and what happens?
And then you can go and deal with Belcora.
Keeping us out, not them in.
Right. But what's on the other side of it besides Belcora that would then come through?
There are 4 floors of this place underneath Gauntlight that we never knew about, and a set of stairs heading down. It could be all manner of things down there.
At the very least, if Belcora can get out and about, we've seen off her lover recently. So maybe there's less of a problem than before, but at the very least, she's going to keep on kidnapping people all she can. Unless we can get some wizardly types down here to blow the hell out of that chamber.
Hmm.
Can we clear this side of the barrier down before we take the barrier down, so there's nothing physical that will then cross or attack us from behind, whichever?
I don't know. Some of the stuff we've met, I'm not eager to meet again. Remember the thing in the bedroom?
Those are definitely in the category of horrible and weird. There was the thing over in the lab as well. Took a chunk out of me.
Hmm.
Take a couple of chunks out of it.
That's what I'm getting at there. If we know that stuff is on this side of it, would we not do better to clear this side in the levels before we consider taking the barrier down?
I think. So I have a question for you. Just with regards to anything that you've met down here. Tended to find the things that could move around at free will did. And the things that couldn't move around with free will couldn't. If you haven't found that creature chasing you already, it probably can't go anywhere other than where you found it. And I don't know anything about a lab. We didn't really, find anything of that nature, but what sort of creature was it?
Some kind of, some kind of us-sized leech with teeth, and a penchant for blood.
Is it behind a closed door?
I was behind several. It was definitely behind
Yeah.
several.
I can't imagine a leech can go anywhere. I can't imagine. But look, it's entirely up to you. Yeah. Look, there's... In my stuff here, there's some things that might help you guys anyway. If you're willing to do this, you're always fine with you taking these things. It's not a problem at all. But for whatever reason, my thieves' tools and the knife that I've got left over seem to be resonating, doing something. They're different. I mean, if I had the other one still, it probably would be doing something weird as well. Probably has been, wherever it is.
Oh, hell.
Oh,
Do
hell?
you remember back when? There was all those kobolds doing stupid stuff when we were kids.
Yeah.
Do you remember how, oh, good God. Oh. There was a little, like, fireplace, and some enchanted flame as that.
Yeah.
Carvings on the wall. It was his knife, wasn't it? It was his knife.
Hmm.
Who's got that these days? Has Rin got that, or has somebody else got that? Or was it Rin?
You think, Neffy, that Rin still has it?
Okay. I hope so, because otherwise, it's not something that we have, is it? No. Yeah,
Nope.
sure. Rin has it. Sure, yeah.
Probably, maybe, definitely. Could have it.
Hopefully. Potentially.
So, Belcora's a problem. Belcora is the only person who can move through the shield. Whatever we've left behind and run away from and closed doors on probably can't go past those doors for whatever reason. Do we want to go deeper and cause Belcora some significant harm so she can't come back again? But also at the same time end up possibly opening the door and causing more harm for the people upstairs?
I think
Well,
if Belcora is left to do what she wants, then she will make the Gauntlet Tower work again.
someone plugged our pal into the table.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've dealt with them yet.
Mm.
If we don't, they're just going to get someone else, and then someone else, and then someone else.
Yeah.
We have not yet dealt with that, no.
Yeah, because
And there's a particular coldness as if this is that.
there's a whole cult around this thing, as well as the individual who we splatted upstairs. 2 rooms away, 3 rooms away, wherever it was.
So, I can tell you that the things that I think are important to me, these tokens, these items of importance. So, look, as I said, I was a bit of a character. I was a little bit shady. Before the pros card, I kind of got myself into a few things that I probably shouldn't have. And my daggers, my daggers and my tools were important to me. They mattered. I put all of my... How do I put this? I put all of my confidence into them. All of my sort of desires and skill were focused on these things. I think if there's anything to go by, there are 3 things that I think the others might be doing this. The problem is I don't know if my tools are being the way that they are because they're so close to the barrier. It might be that, if you go looking for these, they just look like dull old items. They might not be doing anything clever until you bring them here. Proximity might be doing something, but the things I would expect... So, Asfina Menomes had a brooch that they focused a lot of their time on. Zarmavdian had a book. It was always around books. And there was one that he just kept hold of at all times with him. And then Vorajadi... yeah, it'll be her blade. There's no way anything, it'll be her sword. She always used to call it the cooperative blade. It meant more to her than pretty much anything else.
Kind of blade.
It's a long sword.
Ah, Leffy's no longer interested.
I mean, none of them were inherently magical. We just felt like they were part of us.
I suppose it gets that way sometimes when you spend so long with your gear. It does become part of your personality.
Entirely. Absolutely.
So, I'm not from around here. I'm not up on the history of the town and all the rest of it. You and this group were exploring here with these tools and have become separated from each other in death, I suppose, as much as life, and from your tools. And these objects of power are scattered throughout this dungeon, possibly with other ghosts of your comrades. Is that the very short version?
I would doubt their items are anywhere in this dungeon. They never came down here. It was only me that ended up down here. If anything, you say there's a town that they set up and they called it after me, yeah? And have you heard these families before? The Rajani, the Menahams? Get my teeth in right. That's not how you say that word.
So I'm assuming Invar hasn't, right?
Menhims. No, Invar won't have done. Nephi, on the other hand. Oh, well, actually, to be honest with you, no, one of those Invar will have heard of. Rajani is a name that you definitely know, because there's a certain blacksmith in town with the name Rajani who really wants to be the mayor. The other name, Menhems, is the mayor of the town.
Okay.
That is the family that currently runs the town. The other one, no. Zarmavdian, that's not a name you've heard of in town before, but there's a reasonable chance that relics of the town, relics of the founders of the town, may well still be in the town somewhere. And if anybody's going to know about whether or not a certain book is in town, you know Morlibent very well.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, he's fine, darling. You know he is. But yeah. Look, when Otari kind of looks at you and says, look, I don't know if this... I don't know, as in, like, properly in big capital letters, no. But I kind of know. It feels right. This feels like the answer. And sometimes I like things that feel like they're the right answer. And just exploring that. And because what else can you do sometimes? You're the first people to come down here, like, ever, as far as I'm aware, that weren't, working for Belcora or some of her weird minion-y type things running around. There's something
slightly shifty at that, but says nothing.
There's something. There is something happening right now, and the fact that you are here now, it just, it seems too obvious.
That we are here as specific individuals, that there is a group of people here fulfilling this function.
You know what? It could have been anyone. But the fact that there is anyone here right now at this time when things are starting to happen here just feels a little bit too... Yeah.
I'm going to ask him, without naming her, or not specifically, what he knows about Rin, her family, her type of skills.
That's... Do you give a name at all, even any sort of thing?
If I'm not getting anything from a general description of her ability, demeanour, skills, then yes, I will.
So initially you just sort of... No, I'm not really sure who that is. That type of person. I mean, you get loads of those. Oracles. Not that oracles really can, do things correctly these days. Or at least they couldn't in my days. So...
Family name Rin mean anything to you?
Nah. No, that's not a name I've heard. Not a name I've heard at all.
Is there anything else you think we should know?
Anything else you think I should know? I mean, I'm pretty good with the damn harp after several hundred years, apparently. I've had lots of practice time, but believe me, I didn't practice before, ghostly dead. I didn't even think the blimmin' harp would be part of me being dead. But there you go, and I got lots of practice. I'm pretty darn good with it these days.
In the
Did you not play it
context,
before?
What's the pun? What?
I said, could you not play it before you died?
No. I was terrible at this. Awful. I mean, I still did it because it was funny, but...
So dying helped you is what I'm hearing.
I wouldn't say that, but after 200 years you kind of get around to doing things you hadn't done before. If that's how long it's been, I've had plenty of time, clearly, to practice. I'd imagine I could go to Absalom. I mean, I could try and go to Absalom, but I can't pass through chamber at the moment, so maybe not. So, yeah, I'd imagine I could go to Absalom and be quite famous. These skills are pretty darn good. Good with my fingers.
in the context of Belcora, her plans, and all the rest of it, is there anything else you think?
Is there anything else? I mean, I don't remember much. Look, what I would say is, I think there is something fairly ancient and ominous down there that she worked off of, and has done whatever she can to kind of bring that power upwards, but I never got to go further down than this.
Are you feeling more as in the underdark kind of feel of this thing, or more case of something from an alternative below?
I never even considered like any creatures from down lower, not underdark stuff, whatever. No, I'd not thought about it, but no, there's something. As I said, there's something about haunts and spectral undead and ghosts, and that was really important to Belcora, because you can feel it. I mean, I can feel it all the way.
That weird rock in the
here.
room. There's a weird shrine rock to. I would say
Nimbleoff.
No, Nimbleoff, that's the one.
Nimbleoff.
Who's Nimbleoff?
Alternative dimension, bad. Does
something Belcora worships.
Yeah, that category.
That feels like the kind of thing I'm thinking of. There's a source deep down, which that now that you say, like, odd, weird entity type thing, it feels a little bit like that. Look, I'm I'm not being pushy or anything here. You've got your own lives to live, I'm sure. But you seem to be the only people available right now. And you've done pretty darn well to get this far down, so yay. Go be adventurous and look, she could really kill everybody. Seriously.
I mean, she is in the category of problematic.
I don't need convincing.
To be honest, I'm kind of curious as if we drag your bones and your gear up and out of here, do you get a bit of a reprieve from being down in a hole?
I don't think so. I mean, you take my bones away, I wouldn't have such a wonderful thing to look at. I mean, I was pretty at one point. But, more importantly than that, look, I've got... there's things here that you can use, okay? Look, my armour is pretty good. I'd kind of like it if somebody took that. And then there's the tools and the dagger, which... Well, I mean, the dagger's pretty useless. It was just a dagger, to be honest. But... Well, I say that. It wasn't... This one was the good dagger. The other dagger... If you're saying you've got the other dagger was just a dagger. This dagger's a bit better. So what I've got, right, so the armor. The armor is +1 +1. It's got a not a resilience rune, a potency rune on it. There you are. It's got a potency rune on the armor. So it's a bit better than normal studded leather. Okay, and my tools, if you know, they're just tools. To be honest, they're just thieves' tools. They're just basic thieves' tools. But I was pretty good at picking locks and things with them, so that might have rubbed off on them a little bit. I'm not sure, if I'm honest. But the things that might interest you the most. Look, I had a key that you could attach to armor. And if you happen to be really, really good at sneaky stuff and stealing stuff, and you might call yourself a little bit of an expert at it, you could then activate this key. And when you did activate the key, anytime you tried to pick a lock and it would go really catastrophically wrong, the key would kind of stop that catastrophic thing happening. So that was kind of cool. I really, that was really liked. But all right, so the dagger. I'm looking at you. I think you'd like this dagger. Yes, you. Yes, you seem like my type of person. Let's put it that way. I've been looking at you, eyeing the lockpick and the dagger since I mentioned them about 15 minutes ago.
I'm innocent. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate.
That's a lie.
But tell me more about this dagger.
It's not as much fun for Nephew. She's given permission.
So, well, no, it isn't as much fun when you give them permission, but sometimes you have to because consent matters.
So tell me more about this dagger.
It has a potency rune on it, and it has a striking rune on it just to start. Okay, that's just the start. But when you hit really well with this dagger, it makes the target sickened if they fail to be relatively constitutional and all the rest of it. And there is a way of activating it. So when you hit somebody with it and you cause damage with it, it will sort of just generate a poison all of its own. You don't have to envenom the blade. It just becomes poisonous. You can only do that once a day. It seems to be a bit picky, but yeah, it's possible to do that.
I want it.
Oh, I figured you might.
Perfectly innocent reasons.
Yeah, they're kind of yours, and as a kind of encouragement, you know.
So I'm in for it. Phelan's in for it. Neffy's being bribed for it. Invar, you've got a bit of an interesting perspective on half of these undead goings on and similar. I appreciate a little bit of reticence about sticking your nose into, other people's problems. And we've all got ties here one way or another. Suppose the question is, are you in?
Currently.
Oh, that's good enough as a start for anything.
Okay. Then I think the kind of next thing might be to go and try and find the relics. You're not going to do it down here.
Bro, what's going on with the weird shiny stuff around here anyway? Because your little pocket of nicety down here is all a little bit glowy and it ain't so much outside.
I mean, it could be that my personality just shines through in bright colours of green. It might be that I died while being diseased and poisoned, and these things might happen. It's one or the other. I like to think it's because of me. I like to, but instead, you can believe the other thing if you want. I mean, to be fair, the other reason why it's all bright and shiny and green might be because this is the end of today's recording, and you guys have just finished book 1. So that might be what it is.
1 wall, 2 wall, 3 wall.
Whoa!
Anyway, guys, yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to go grab a drink, and that's going to be it for this one. We know what we're doing next. We're starting a new book. So catch you all, and we'll see you next time on the recordings. Bye-bye, players.
Bye-bye, players.